Welcome to a Bad Tiki Thursday. Coming up at 4:30, Bad Tiki will join our program. We got a lot to talk about. The Knicks are getting some good news. We will examine the brain of the New York Met fan, and we'll play a game of quarterback bingo. But today's a day in which this microphone, I think, is very, very, very important. And it's not something I'm going to say into the microphone. It's something Tiki Barber is going to say into the microphone.
You're about to get a bad Tiki right now.
Oh, wow. Because here's what you need to know before I hand the floor over to the great Tiki Barber. Saquon Barkley is a free agent, and starting on Monday, the legal tampering period can begin, and the Giants obviously made a decision, which we've examined, to not franchise tag him. And he will have a chance to talk to every team in the NFL. There is a report coming out of Philadelphia from the immortal Howard Eskin, and he's never wrong. That's what I've heard. He's never wrong. That the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley have a mutual interest in each other. That should disturb every single person in our audience. So, Tiki, what do you have to say about that?
So, we already know that one New Yorker, esteemed, even though for just a short time, is heading down to Philadelphia. That would be our boss, Spike Eskin.
Fraud.
Sounds similar to the name that Evan just mentioned, Howard Eskin. Why? Because it's his son. So Howard Eskin is starting to spew some nonsense that there is mutual interest between Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me preface this by saying I have utmost respect for the Philadelphia Eagles. They've won a championship in the interim since I retired. They've had some pretty good teams, and they've been really good. But the fact that Saquon would even contemplate going to play for that team in Philadelphia is insulting to his Giant history and legacy. There are many other opportunities out there for Saquon because there's a lot of running back musical chairs that are going to happen. It happened last year actually as well, but there's a lot of musical chairs that are going to happen this offseason in the running back world. And Saquon very well not be a New York Giant. I know that Joe Shane is having conversations, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to work out. Go to Baltimore. Go to Houston. Go to L.A. Chargers. Jim Harbaugh already has intimated that he wants you. Go anywhere else. Hell, go play in the Spanish football league for all I care. Do not, absolutely do not go to the Philadelphia Eagles, because if you do, that appreciation and respect and reverence that we all have for you, Saquon, will be lost. It'll be gone. You can join enemies. I mean, hell, I don't even know if I feel bad about him joining the Commanders or the Cowboys. But the Eagles? It's in your backyard. I mean, we share a state. I know you killed Jersey yesterday, Evan, because of the pumping gas thing. But we share a state with Eagles fans. You get halfway down the Jersey Shore, we're talking Eagles people. We're talking those that don't care about the Giants and would rather, see us burned than urinate on us. We're talking about a different area, different mentality of person down the street, down in South Jersey, down in Philadelphia. And Saquon Barkley cannot join that world. And you know why you can't join that world? Because no matter what happens in his free agent world that he's living in right now, we want to still respect and love him. If he goes to Houston and he's down there with C.J. Stroud and they do some great stuff, and hell, he even wins a championship, we'll feel happy for him. Yeah. No matter what happens when he does in Philadelphia, we will hate it. And then we'll start hating him. And I don't want that to happen for who I thought was one of the most potential-filled stars to come into New York in a really, really long time. So I know that Howard Eskin is spewing this nonsense. What I really think he's doing is setting his son up for his first fall book for when he goes down and he can start talking about Saquon. I know Saquon because I was up in New York as the PD, and Evan and Tiki and all the shows up there were talking about Saquon Barkley, and he was fantastic. Well, now we have him, and he's a Philadelphia Eagle. It just feels like Howard's setting up Spike. So don't let the nonsense, Saquon. Don't let the Howard Eskins of the world and his traitor son who's going down the road influence you to go into the cesspool of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go kiss ass.
You're going to turn into one of those people that we hate.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't. Like, we'll respect you, but we'll hate you. And that's not a good thing. Your jersey, that 2-6 that we see all over the stadium, it won't be worn anymore.
Gone.
It'll be gone.
Gone.
It'll be burned. In some cases.
Yeah.
Do not, without any doubt, go to Philadelphia. Do not. That's just my message for Saquon.
Well said, sir. That's a legendary New York Giant, a man who suited up for no other team, speaking the truth. And I wonder, as Saquon Barkley has a couple of days to contemplate his future before free agency begins, I hope he understands, and I hope he's listening. And if he's not listening, I hope someone tells him. Because you say it from an athlete perspective and a Giant perspective. Mm-hmm. I can say this from a fan perspective, and I'll be a little bit more blunt. You're dead to us.
Yes.
If you go to Philadelphia, you're dead to us. And I remember, I'll give you a quick comparison, Jacob deGrom. If he went to Atlanta, he was going to be dead to me. And I'm a stan. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys know how nuts I am. That was a deal breaker. That was a rule breaker. He couldn't go there. And quite frankly, I have respect for the Giant-Eagle rivalry to the point where I think Giants-Eagles is on another plane compared to Mets-Braves.
Oh, I agree.
I don't even think it's close.
I agree.
And so I feel you, and I feel Giant fans. And Saquon just needs to know. He needs to know from the people listening right now, all the Giant fans in the audience, and he needs to know from a Giant legend. We understand you're tired of losing. We understand you want the respect of being paid. We understand you may want to go to another team. Mm-hmm. But if you go to that team, you're dead to us. Your jerseys will be burned. They will never be worn. You won't be welcome back. Like, there will never be a Ring of Honor ceremony for Saquon Barkley, the former Eagle. It's over. You go to Houston and you have great success, I think there's a time and place down the road where the Giant fan's going to say, come on back, we loved you.
Come retire a Giant. You do that. If he goes to Philly, we're not letting him come retire a Giant.
No.
He's an Eagle. You're now an Eagle. If you go fly, Eagle, fly, if that comes out of your mouth one time, you're an Eagle. It does not happen. There's no, we forgive you. It's over.
No, this is unforgivable. I mean, it's the reality. Here's what I'm curious about, Tiki. When you're in the room as an active player, you now have the ability of being wise, the ability of time, the ability to have played an entire NFL career, and now you're at that different lens. You're looking at it through the media lens. When you sat there, and we talked about it the other day, how you sort of got to free agency, but not really. Mm-hmm. You were also not on this level of Saquon at this point. Nope. Your career got better as it went on. But did you realize, did you know, and did guys in the room know that if they cross that line and go to Philadelphia, they're dead to all of us? Did they know that?
Well, I think the Philadelphia rivalry, as it's now viewed, started happening during my era. Right? It wasn't previous.
It existed, but not to this level.
It wasn't vitriolic like it feels now.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, obviously because it was an NFC East rival, but I feel like the Cowboys were more of the rivalry back in those 90s and 80s, etc. But once the late 90s and the 2000s, and then the Eagles and the Giants were always battling for the division, and then they became the dominant team, and then they win a Super Bowl. The rivalry became the Eagles and the Giants because the Giants just couldn't beat them. Right. For the last decade, you just can't beat them. And so they've become the hated team. And then when you think about the proximity, and I mean this, man, we took a bus.
Yeah.
We took a bus to Philadelphia. We didn't take a train. We didn't fly. We took a bus to Philadelphia. That's how close it was. And I'm not joking. You get somewhere down the New Jersey Turnpike or the Garden State Parkway, you start seeing Eagle flags.
Yeah.
Right? It becomes Eagle country. And it's annoying that in the state that houses our team, we have Eagle fans from Philadelphia living in the boroughs and hating on the New York Giants. And they're not nice. It's not brotherly love. It is abject hate.
Yeah.
It's what it feels like. And now, you respect the players. You respect those guys. Donovan McNabb, he's my boy. Ike Reese, he's my dude. I love these guys. Brian Dawkins, love them. But as rivals, you hated them. And I can't see Saquon putting on an Eagle Green 26 and us saying, oh, we forgive you, Saquon.
No.
It's over.
No, it's over,
It's
dude.
over.
Absolutely. You said something beautiful a few days ago about the importance of being with one team and what that does for your legacy.
Yes.
And I respect that, but I also understand that Saquon Barkley, as he approaches Monday, is going to want the respect of being paid.
Right.
And I think we all get that. And if the New York Giants are not showing him that respect, and I don't think they are, I don't think they have a real serious interest in bringing him back, more on that as the show rolls on, then of course you have to be open to leaving. I wouldn't begrudge Saquon Barkley for leaving, but he has to understand that as much as he may cherish his time here, he flushes it down the toilet if he goes to Philadelphia. I think
Tell your agent anywhere but Philly.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
That's it.
Anywhere but Philly.
And you know what you can tell your agent? And if you're doing this right now, Saquon, blink twice, and we'll be okay. If you're using the Philadelphia Eagles, cool. That's totally fine.
Right.
I don't think anyone has an issue with you using the Eagles. Because let me give the Eagles credit for this. Considering they have a free agent running back in DeAndre Swift, and considering they've changed kind of their game plan on offense with the hiring of Kellen Moore, Saquon Barkley makes a ton of sense. I get why the Eagles want Saquon Barkley.
I do too.
Not just as a running back, but as a back who can catch the ball out of the backfield in that offense. He could be electric. So I don't begrudge Howie Roseman. I don't begrudge the Philadelphia Eagles. They should be doing this, just like we would want to be doing this. But if you're Saquon Barkley, you don't have to listen to me, but you should listen to Tiki Barber. And you should listen to everyone in this city who has your jersey, who likes you, who defends you, who looks up to you. You cross that line and you go to Philadelphia, you ain't welcome here anymore.
It's not a thin line. It's a thick green one. And you want nothing to do with it. Because once you go on that side, the blue doesn't come back. It just don't. It's like a turf war. It just doesn't come back. You can't live it down. You go to Houston, it's fine. It's a little tiny red and blue line. You can cross back over.
Yeah.
You go to Baltimore, it's a little purple line. You can cross back over. It's easy. You can jump it. You go to the Chargers. It's beautiful. You'll live a great life.
Yeah.
You have a nice suntan and beautiful house right on the Pacific Ocean, I'm sure. We'll love you.
No biggie.
Actually, we'll probably come out and visit you.
Why not?
Hey,
Nice place to visit.
We'll go root for you out there, Saquon. You go to Philly, where it's dank and rainy and disgusting. We will not come visiting.
Look, it's not even an NFC thing. You go to Chicago,
right? We're fine.
Yeah, you want to help Caleb Williams take it to the net. That's fine. That's cute and adorable. But if you stick in this division, and I agree with you, Washington, who cares?
Right.
If it's Philly or Dallas, but specifically Philly, that's the jump you don't want to make. And I know right now it's easy to not think about it, because in the moment it's about respect. In the moment it's about a contract. Even in the moment it's about roster and a chance to win. And all that stuff is cool. Like getting paid is cool. Having a chance to win a Super Bowl is cool. But you know what's cooler, especially when you're a kid who grew up in this area? Yeah, you were a Jet fan, but you know what? Jet and Giant fans, we're brothers, okay? Let's put our fighting aside. We're 1-1, okay? We're together. You are, Saquon, a New Yorker, even though you're from Jersey. You're a New Yorker. You won't be welcome back in that same way.
No.
Once you do.
And I know it's a different world where guys move. You love a player. He goes to a different team. You still love that player because it's fantasy football. It's gambling. It's bet. It's whatever. Giant dads, and I guess moms as well, because some of the women are just as avid as the men in this town. Giant dads and moms will not let you keep that jersey.
No,
kids.
it's gone.
It's the Saquon jersey is gone.
It's gone.
If he goes to Philadelphia.
Look, burning.
If he goes anywhere else, just hang in the back of the closet, right? You bring it out maybe if the I don't know, the Houston Texans come to town or they play the Baltimore Ravens in the preseason. You can bring out your Saquon jersey.
No doubt.
The Eagles, no chance.
I remember contemplating this with Jake. I have my DeGrom jersey. My sons have their DeGrom jersey. And I was like, you know what? If he goes to the right place, we could wear it almost immediately. Like, hey, he's an all-time great Met. Who cares if he's in Texas? Who cares if he's in Houston? Name the random city that wasn't offensive. But if he went to Atlanta or he went to Philadelphia, I'm not a believer in burning jerseys. I think that's infantile.
Right.
But I'll tell you one thing I would have done, Salvation Army. I would have donated that sumbitch. It would have been gone. And this is on another level. So Saquon, your family, your agents, the people around you.
On notice.
You're on notice. We still love you. You haven't done anything yet.
Of course.
It's just a
and by
warning.
the way, I still want him here.
Yeah, me too.
The last thing I want him to do is go anywhere else. But if he goes to Philadelphia, I'm not even saying his name. I might not say his name again. What's Saquon's middle name? I got to find out his middle name. Whatever it is, that's what I'm going to call
The
him.
real
if he goes
question
to
is,
Philadelphia.
would you follow the line of our caller from a few days ago who called him Saquon Barkley?
No, I can't do that.
You would not do that.
I still have respect for the grind that Saquon has been on in his career, and it's not been an easy one.
I do have his middle names.
What it is?
It is Saquon Rasul Cuevas Barkley.
Right. So, Rasul.
Rasul. That's who you are now.
Rasul?
Rasul.
The Eagle. Rasul Barkley.
That's it.
Great. I don't even want to say Saquon Barkley as an Eagle. Rasul Barkley.
That's it. You lose your name to the greatest giant running back in the history of the franchise. So, Saquon, you've been warned. Now you get to hear from the people. 877-337-6666.